Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss The Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, Season 1, Episode 2, and I could not wait to talk to you guys about this episode in particular because Cynthia tried it. That game, Cynthia, I want you to retire that Bailey Q, whatever you call it. Like, please stop doing it. It's stupid, the questions are dumb, and I was on Kyle's side. But let me not jump ahead. Let's just jump right on into it because we don't have a minute to spare. The episode starts off with Cynthia waking up and she's like, I had too much tequila last night, and she's still tired. Now we see everybody getting ready for breakfast. Michael is greeting all the ladies, and Michael is just such a cutie. But again, here comes Luanne all over him like white on rice. I said, Luanne, I don't know how else to say this. Leave Michael alone. I mean, he does not want you. Like, please get that through your head. He's not interested. So when Luanne kept flashing him, I was like, girl, you just don't stop. Ladies, I'm always talking on Twitter about desperation. I hate to see it. Ladies, just stop with all that. If a man is not interested, move on along to somebody else who is. But it's painful seeing Luanne just all over this man, and he's just not giving her any sort of action or rhythm whatsoever. And he was not amused when she kept opening up her towel to flash the house. He was like, can she stop? All the ladies gather around the table for breakfast. Ramona is all dressed and ready for tennis because we know that Ramona is a tennis fanatic. Like, she plays very well. She has her tennis pro come to her house in the Hamptons, and she is set. Kenya says that she's willing to give Ramona one more chance, and now she starts asking Ramona about John. Kenya's asking Ramona if John has called her. Ramona says no. Cynthia jumps in and wants to know if Ramona's interested in John. Ramona's trying to play coy, like, no, not really. I'm just trying to see where it goes. And I was like, now, Ramona, you were all over this man. In the last episode, you were getting all cute for him on FaceTime. Just say that you realize he's not into you. You took the hint, and now you're trying to move on gracefully. Like, Ramona's just trying to save face. And I was cracking up at Cynthia and Kenya trying to gas her up. Cynthia's talking about, really, Ramona? Because I sensed some chemistry between you two. No, you didn't. Cynthia goes on to say, well, we're here for 6 more days, so shoot your shot. Ramona's like, pardon me? Like, what does that mean? And Cynthia's like, oh, I mean, just make something happen. So now Kenya wants to know, how long were Ramona and Mario married? Ramona says that they were married for 20 years, and then she goes on into the story about how they met. They met at the gym because he was staring at her butt. She goes on to say that she was wearing all these sexy outfits, how she was a trendsetter, and she started the trend of wearing crop tops at the gym. So they're all looking at her like, here come the delusions jumping out yet again, because I can promise you, Ramona did not start that trend. Teresa even says, Ramona looks great for her age, but she did not start any trends. Like, let's stop. Kenya even says, Ramona, you have some high self-esteem. There's a difference between high self-esteem and just being delusional. And Ramona is in the delusional category, okay? Pure delusions with a capital D. Now Melissa interrupts the conversation and she tells Ramona that she wants to play tennis with her. Ramona turns Melissa down and says, no way, it'll only last 20 minutes. Kenya's like, who raised her? A pack of wolves? Like, who says stuff like that? Now let me just say, yes, that is very rude of Ramona. But if you are a tennis player, then you know that it's not the most fun to play with somebody who can't play at all. I think that it's like that for anybody who plays a certain sport and they play it well. It's not that much fun to play with folks who can't play. It's nice to play with somebody who's on your level or close to it. Just my 2 cents. But again, Ramona's delivery was all wrong. All she had to say was, well, maybe we can play later on, or I got you in the afternoon. But to say, no way, it'll only last 20 minutes, that was uncalled for. Again, there is a way to say everything. You don't have to be rude to get your point across. And I think that a lot of people, along with folks like Ramona, fail to realize that. So again, everybody's really turned off by Ramona and her rudeness. And so she's on her way to the tennis court. And of course, all that nastiness that she was spewing at the table, she can't even find the damn tennis court. She is 19 minutes late to her tennis lesson. And I was like, that's that karma for you, because the way you did Melissa at that table was so unnecessary. So now Cynthia and Teresa go for a walk. And I like this scene a lot. I like the chemistry that Cynthia and Teresa have. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm loving Teresa on this series. I think that it shows a softer side of her. I've always thought that she was rude or very self-centered, just very all her way or no way. But now seeing her be so calm and just like level-headed, I am here for it.
I love it. I love it.
Cynthia's complimenting Teresa, saying that Teresa is the sweetest and the coolest. Teresa says that she feels the same way about Cynthia. So now Teresa thanks Cynthia for how she got Ramona to calm down and apologize to everybody at the dinner last night. Then Teresa brings up how Kenya also stuck up for her at the dinner last night. And she's like, I was super touched by that because on my cast, nobody ever sticks up for me. Cynthia is shocked and she's like, not even Melissa? Like, that's your sister-in-law. Teresa says, no, not ever. Now, Teresa, I kind of feel like that's a stretch to say that nobody sticks up for you on your cast, because everybody kisses your ass on Jersey. Everybody. Because you are the star of the New Jersey franchise. Hands down, it's a fact. And I feel like a lot of the women don't really give you the smoke that you deserve sometimes, because you try it, like you really do pull it with folks. So to say that nobody sticks up for you, I'm like, girl, I like you and all, but that's not true. Because Dolores goes hard for you. You and Dolores have been friends for, I think, 2 decades. So I'm like, girl, miss me with it. But like I've said before, Teresa just does not like Melissa. It is clear as day. Nothing that Melissa does will ever be good enough in Teresa's eyes. Also with Teresa, when Melissa will call her out when she's wrong, Teresa doesn't like that. Teresa is very much, we're family, whatever I say goes. If I am wrong, still have my back and don't say anything about it. And that's not how Melissa operates, and that's why there's friction, because Teresa feels like loyalty should look like this, and Melissa feels like loyalty looks like, I love you, I have your back, but if you are wrong, I'm still going to call you out on it. And that's not what Teresa wants. But again, I digress. Now Teresa goes on to say that she relates to Kenya going through a divorce, and she never thought that her and Joe would ever break up. So she really feels for Kenya, and she feels like they have a lot in common. Then Teresa adds that she was in jail for over 11 months, and how when she got out, Joe went in. So it was just back to back to back, just nonstop craziness. So she can relate to Kenya going through a hard time with this divorce. So now Cynthia goes on to ask if Teresa was willing to work it out with Joe once he got out of jail. Teresa says that yes, that was the plan initially, but when her mom passed away right after she got out of jail, she felt resentful towards Joe, because it was like Joe put her in this position in the first place, so she was just really angry. Then she goes on to say that she knew that when she saw him for the first time, that would be the true test if she still loved him and wanted to make it work. Teresa says that that night when she had seen him for the first time in years, he laid on top of her to kiss her, and she said that she felt nothing. She said that she felt so disconnected, and that's when she knew that it was time for them to go their separate ways. That's super understandable, because I know that I would feel some sort of way if my spouse had me roped up in some illegal activity after I thought that everything was fine. And now here I am going to jail. And then while I'm in jail, my mom gets sick. Then when I come out of jail, she passes like almost immediately. Oh, I would be like, okay, I can't do this anymore. Shout out to everybody. I have fun. And I'd be filing for divorce as well. So I wasn't surprised when Teresa and Joe decided to end things, because you could just tell that Teresa was fed up and she was tired. And Joe also was not treating her right either while they were married. So, I mean, what was she really trying to fight for? Cynthia is really loving their heart to heart, and she says in her confessional that she has a lot of respect for Teresa and how Teresa is a real one. So now we get to the next scene, and it is all the ladies on the Catamaran, and there's food and rosé for them, and they're just having the best time. Kenya and Melissa are taking selfies together. Melissa just loves Kenya's booty. Like, she keeps touching it. She's like slapping it. And I have to say, I'm loving this Kenya-Melissa love affair. I like their friendship. I was watching an interview the other day, and Melissa said that Kenya is her girl. Like, they are really close. So it's just cute to see them bonding. It's really lovely to see Kenya in this light. Like, I'm just enjoying her so much. And I wanted to say this in the last recap, but it's really becoming apparent that the producers over at RHOA are giving Kenya the villain edit. And they've been giving her the villain edit for years, because seeing her on the Ultimate Girls Trip and then watching her episodes with Candy on Candy's show, Candy Speak on it, I was like, this Kenya seems awfully different. And then hearing her side of things and hearing her say how much they edited out of the past few seasons to make certain people look good, I said, okay, it's all starting to make sense. And I've heard quite a few people say that Kenya is actually one of the sweetest ones on the cast. So I just said, bravo, you have some splaining to do, because how come you've been trying to make Kenya look bad for years? It just makes you think. But I digress. Kyle's laying out trying to get some sun. Teresa and Ramona are talking, having a great time. They're bonding over how they were both buyers for the Macy's in Herald Square in New York. So Ramona's like, oh my gosh, get out. So is I. I worked for Calvin Klein. And then Teresa's like, oh my gosh, like I worked for Calvin Klein as well. So now Ramona says, well, obviously I was wrong about you, because obviously you're smart if you were a buyer for all those years for Macy's. Ramona, you are, like I've been saying, one of the most ignorant people across all the franchises. So for you to try to size somebody up over intelligence, like, how dare you? Ramona is a very insecure woman, because people who are secure in themselves never have to put other people down. And she is constantly putting others down. So now all the ladies meet up at the table to have some lunch. Now Cynthia wants to know who knew who the least. Kyle says that she didn't know Luanne that well. And then Ramona says that she Googled Kenya. So Kenya's like, girl, you did? Like, why'd you do that? I don't Google people. Like, that's just not me. So Luanne brings up a story about how some of her friends a few years back when she was in Miami wanted to set her up with this really great guy that they knew. So they had given the guy her information, and when the guy called Luanne, for some reason, she didn't hear her phone, so she didn't pick up the call. So she says that when she called him back, he told her that he had Googled her and saw that she had been arrested and that he wanted nothing to do with her and he was no longer interested. She says that she was so devastated, and then she starts crying. So everybody's trying to console her, and she's saying that it's hard enough trying to find romance in real life, but to be a reality TV star and trying to find love and relationships, it is a million times harder. And I can imagine, I'm sure that you do have guys who are only into you for the fame and for some notoriety. So that must suck, because you can never know who's truly for you and who really loves you and like wants to be with you, you know? So now, while they're consoling Luanne, Ramona decides that she does not want to hear Luanne's sob story. So she gets up and is like, okay, I don't want to hear this. I'm going downstairs. everybody's like, Ramona, are you crazy? Here your friend is crying and you're saying that you don't want to hear this. So now Luanne is like, I can't believe her, but I'm not surprised. So Ramona's downstairs and now Luanne starts talking about Tom. Luanne says that she was madly in love with Tom, how she felt like she could change him. So then she goes on to say that in the end, she ended up marrying her drinking buddy. So I think it's Kyle who brings up the fact that Tom was cheating on her. So she's like, yeah, he was cheating on me while we were engaged. I'm like, Luanne, do you hear yourself? How and why you went through with that marriage to Tom is beyond me. I mean, when Bethany sent you those receipts of Tom cheating on you, you should have been like, okay, I'm out. But I've always felt like not only is Luanne desperate, I don't believe that she was really madly in love with Tom. I feel like she would have felt this way about any man who was in front of her face at that time. I think that Luanne is one of those women, she wants to just be with a man by any means necessary. And if that means dealing with a cheater, if that means dealing with somebody who's going to embarrass her, she doesn't mind. As long as she can say that she has a man or a husband. And I remember watching those seasons of New York, 8, 9, and 10. I remember thinking, okay, this marriage is not going to last. Luanne is going to be filing for divorce, or Tom is going to just leave her. But I just knew that that marriage was going to end in divorce. And I remember giving it a year. And so when Luanne divorced Tom after 10 months, I was like, okay, nobody is surprised at this. Tom is not capable of being a monogamous or faithful man at all. And Luanne was foolish for thinking that she could change him. You can't change anybody. I just need people to realize that you are not changing a soul. The person has to want to change for themselves. Like, that's it, that's all. And I get really tired of hearing women thinking that they're taking on this project and they're going to turn this man into Prince Charming. You know this man is no good. You know this man is a cheater, a liar. Like, why are you thinking that he's going to turn into the man of your dreams? He's not. Kick him to the curb and find a new one. I promise you, there are a lot of men out there. You do not have to settle for some raggedy piece of a man just to say that you have a man. But I digress. Kenya says that she can relate to Luanne because she too has tried to change a man and tried to love the bad out of him. I wonder if Luanne's first husband, the Count, I wonder if him not wanting to be monogamous anymore, because remember that Luanne revealed that in season 8, I think. But I just wonder if him opening up the marriage and then him just not wanting to be with Luanne at all, so then he divorced her and left her for an Egyptian princess. But I wonder if that has played a part into how she moves with men now. Like, she just seems like she's just so thirsty for a man. Like, I don't know. I feel like that divorce really screwed her up. And I think that she should see a therapist. And that's no shade, but I think that she still has some issues regarding her first marriage and how it ended. So Ramona decides that she wants to come back up and join the girls. So she comes bearing gifts with these gift bags of lip glosses in them. They're all looking at her like, Ramona, really? You rudely stormed off and now you want to come back and try to appease somebody with some lip gloss? Like, no thanks. So now Ramona's like, what do you want me to do, okay? I've heard this story like 20 times. And I was married for 20 years. I had a great marriage. And then it was over because he was cheating on me. And now, I'm divorced, but you don't see me crying about it. So Luanne is like, Ramona, are you serious right now? Like, way to make everything about yourself. Now Ramona, because she can't seem to quit while she's ahead, makes things worse by saying that the reason why she went downstairs because she was triggered when Luanne brought up Tom. She brings up that she dated Tom, so hearing Luanne talk about him was hurtful to her. So now Luanne's like, girl, are you kidding me right now? Like, you dated him, really? Like, you only went on a few dates with him. That was my husband. Like, I was married to him for 10 months. So I don't really care how you feel, but that was my husband. How dare you bring up how you dated him and now you feel bad? The psychosis for you to compare that you dated this man for a few weeks, but Luanne was actually married to this man and embarrassed by this man and has legit trauma from what happened, and you're trying to say that you guys are on the same level. The disconnect is frightening because there is no way you could compare the two. A divorce and you dating somebody for 2 weeks, it's not the same. Just a mess. I would have thrown Ramona overboard, to be honest with you, with no life jacket. Like, she is insane. And I remember how Ramona cried to everybody and their mother the season that Mario left her to go with his mistress. She was devastated. So now Luanne can't have a moment to cry about this man breaking her heart? A mess. Like I said, I would never speak to Ramona again because she is disrespectful to the utmost degree. She has no regard for other people. Like, she's missing empathy. It's just not there. It's giving sociopath because something is just not right. Everybody is so disgusted by Ramona. Luanne and Kenya leave the table and they go downstairs to talk. Luanne's like, I cannot believe her right now. Like, she is just such an asshole. Kenya says, I know. And to think that I was defending her last night, like, just crazy. So we see all the ladies disperse and they're breaking off into pairs, having a good time, enjoying the Catamaran. You see Kenya and Melissa having some fun. You could tell that Miss Cynthia is a little bit jealous of Kenya and Melissa's friendship because when she made that comment like, I see my old friends making some new friends, so I guess I should do the same. I mean, girl, you might have come here together, but who said that you and Kenya had to be attached at the hip the entire time? Like, you go make new friends and let Kenya enjoy her new friends in peace too. I think that Cynthia has a problem with Kenya being so well liked and so well received in this group. I think she thought that Kenya would be fighting with people the way that she does in Atlanta. And I said, Cynthia, don't be jealous. Now you know how Nene felt when Kenya jumped into the picture. And, I'm just saying. But again, I digress. So Cynthia moseys on over to Kyle and they're talking about love and romance and marriages. And Cynthia's talking about, you know, things are so different because back in the day we didn't have Instagram. Nowadays it's all these hoes sliding into Mike's DMs. I don't like that. So now Kyle's laughing and she says the same thing happens with Mauricio, how she went into his DMs and she saw all these girls sending him pictures, and she's like, yeah, it is really tough to navigate and it really messes with my head. I wasn't surprised that Kyle said it messes with her head because we know that Kyle, I don't want to say she's insecure, but she seems like she kind of has a watchful eye on Mauricio. She gives me that she's always hovering around to make sure that nobody's going to just take him out her hands. You know what I'm saying? Like, she gives me kind of paranoid, like a little bit of a jealous wife. Just my opinion. So Cynthia's like, you and Mauricio have been married for 25 years. You guys seem to have a great marriage, a great foundation. Can you give me some advice? Because the way that I communicate with Mike isn't always the best. And we've seen Cynthia. Cynthia is not always as sweet and nice as she portrays herself to be. Cynthia got a bit of an attitude, all right? We know that because we saw how nasty she got when Mike was like, babe, I don't think we should have this wedding in the middle of a pandemic. And she caught a nasty attitude with him. She was acting like a spoiled brat. So Kyle says, the best advice I can give you is to make sure that you surround yourself with other happily married couples. And Cynthia takes it all in. They hug and they both agree that it's nice to get to know each other and to become friends. So the boat ride is over and all the ladies get back to the villa, and now they're all getting ready for Cynthia's Bailey Q party, which is a damn mess. Cynthia says that her Bailey cues are fun, but they're also very shady. And she wants everybody to dress in red or else they'll be red. So, I mean, the theme was cute. Everybody, for the most part, looked good in their red dresses. Luanne says, we're going to have to work on your style because Luanne's style is quite matronly. I mean, Luanne, for you to act like you're just so hot and sexy, sis, I'm going to need you to step it up. Luanne dresses like she just stepped out of a Ralph Lauren catalog. Every single time, she gives very much preppy, conservative on Palm Beach. It's never like a hot, sexy look. And that feathered short hair doesn't help things either. I feel like her hairstyle dates her. I would like to see Luanne with some extensions, a sexier look. I don't know, maybe some blonde highlights or something. Just something more current. Like, step up to 2021, sis. I'm just saying. Now, all the ladies are at the table. Everybody is ready to eat some good food and to play Cynthia's stupid game. Now, mind you, everybody's at the table except for Kenya because she's still up in her room getting glammed up. Now, Kenya, you were 35 minutes late at this part. You should have said, look, put my hair up in a cute bun or ponytail, beat my face quickly, and let's just get on with it because I'm already late. If you know me, then you know that lateness in my book is unacceptable. I don't like it. I'm not here for it. Don't play with my time. I think that it's very rude. It's disrespectful. It shows that you have no regard for other people. And that was not cool of Kenya to just be getting all glammed up while they're waiting for her and the dinner was supposed to start 35 minutes ago. That's not cool. So while they're waiting for Kenya, Cynthia is telling all the ladies about the game. She's like, we're going to be giving some shady awards. I'm going to be asking you guys some questions like who's the sexiest, who's the prettiest. Kyle and Ramona are like, girl, what? Ramona's like, no, we're all pretty. We're all sexy. I was like, yeah, I know that's right. Kyle's like, I am not comfortable with those questions. Like, who's the prettiest? Really? And I was like, nobody in their right mind is going to answer that. And if they do, they're going to say themselves. Like, let me get that question. I'm saying me. Don't play with me. Don't ask me any dumb question like that. First of all, it's rude, it's stupid, it's immature. How old are you? And just no. Like, no's across the board. So now, Kyle is voicing her discomfort. She's like, that's like asking if you have a favorite child. Like, I can't ask that. I'm not going to answer that. That's just not right. So Cynthia is getting visibly annoyed at Kyle. Now, while I'm not a Kyle fan, when she's on Beverly Hills, I was on her side 110% because I found the questions to be just shady and stupid. Like, why are we really doing this right now? Cynthia, you're lucky I wasn't there because I would have said, girl, I'm not playing this dumbass game. So we could play Monopoly. We can break out the Jenga or something else because I'm not doing this. So now Cynthia lets everybody know that they can go up and make their plates. And now it's just her and Kenya at the table. Kenya can sense that Cynthia is really angry. And she's like, are you okay, Cynthia? Like, is everything all right? So Cynthia says, look, the intention of tonight is to have a good time and just have fun. So now Kenya's like, well, the game is kind of petty. The questions are kind of shady. Like, I can understand why Kyle feels some sort of way. Cynthia says that she's annoyed that Kenya doesn't have her back and has Kyle's back. So they finally start playing the game. Ramona picks out the first question. I think it's like best butt. She gives that to Teresa because she thinks that Teresa's butt is just amazing. Then Teresa's question is, who would you F, who would you marry, and who would you kill? Teresa says that she would F Luanne because she thinks that Luanne is good in bed. She would marry Cynthia and then kill Ramona since her and Ramona have had beef. I think everybody at the table would kill Ramona. So they're having a good time. The game's going off pretty well. And Kenya points out that Cynthia is still annoyed. Cynthia says, I am annoyed because my intention was to have a good time and I would like respect. It was like, Cynthia, do you hear yourself? Nobody's disrespecting you because they were uncomfortable about the game. They just felt like the questions were kind of shady and rude and they didn't want to participate. That's it. That's not disrespecting you because they didn't want to play the game. I was like, are you unable to hear or understand logic and reasoning? Because there's no reason for you to feel offended that they didn't want to play the game. They had valid reasons for why they did not want to play the game. I think anybody would. Cynthia gets on my nerves. Like, she really does. And she really showed out towards the end of this episode. I was like, really? You're that upset? It really wasn't that deep. But whatever. So now all the ladies go around and start addressing their insecurities. Teresa says that as you get older, things change with your body, and that brings insecurity to her. Melissa says that she worries about her husband cheating on her since she grew up with a dad who was a cheater. Kenya says that she's afraid that she won't ever find the love that she wants. Luanne makes a joke and says that she's scared of growing old with Ramona, and they all start laughing. And then Kyle interjects and says, I'm loving the game so far, and Cynthia, I just want to apologize to you because it wasn't my intention to hurt your feelings, but I had just felt uncomfortable in the beginning when I saw that the questions were like, who's the prettiest, who's the sexiest? That's it, that's all. Cynthia is super dry. She's not receptive to Kyle's apology, and she's like, I appreciate it. But the way she said it, you could tell she's still pissed off, and she wasn't here for it at all. So now Kyle, because we know how Kyle is, God forbid anybody's mad at Kyle. She's like, Cynthia, were you upset with me? Cynthia says, I felt like you were being unwilling to just go with it and have fun. Kyle says again, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be a buzzkill, like, I'm sorry. Cynthia is just as nasty, and she's like, okay, Kyle, I heard you, I accept your apology. And I remember Nene saying in past seasons that Cynthia behind the scenes is not this sweet, innocent angel. She has a very wicked side to her as well. She's not, all, hey, I'm Cynthia. It's not all that. And we saw it right then and there because she was shooting daggers at Kyle. Like, she wanted Kyle to leave the table and go back to her room. She was not feeling it. She wasn't feeling Kyle's apology. She did not want to hear what Kyle had to say. And again, Kyle had every right to feel how she felt and express how she felt. Because a lot of people would have felt offended and they would have felt weirded out answering those questions. I'm going to just take a moment to be transparent. I have always been quite indifferent in regards to Cynthia. I never liked her, but I never disliked her. She was always just there. And for some reason, I always got this vibe from her that she wasn't as nice. I think she enjoyed being the friend that was seen as, the sweet one, and Nene was always the bad guy. But I feel like Cynthia can get just as nasty, just as shady as anybody else. So now they start giving out the shady awards. Ramona gives Kenya the smartest. I think that they all give Melissa the sexiest award. And I was like, that should have gone to Kenya. I mean, Melissa is sexy too, don't get me wrong. But I was like, yeah, Kenya's sexy too now. Like, don't do Miss Kenya. But see, this is why you don't play those games. A mess. Kenya gives the sweetest award to Melissa as well. And then Cynthia reads the who is the prettiest. And baby, everybody said, child, do what you want, Cynthia. Just say who you want to say. Nobody was going to sit up here and play with Miss Cynthia. And Cynthia, you are ignorant as all hell to bring up this stupid game and these stupid questions. Cynthia says that this was her 3rd annual Bailey Q and this might be her last. I say, yes, girl, please end this because nobody's trying to play these games with you, for real. So Kenya and Kyle are dancing. They're having a good time together. And Cynthia goes into the confessional room and she's venting about Kenya arriving late and how the ladies are taking her kindness for weakness. She also goes on to say that she's going to have a talk with Kenya because she just has to get a few things off of her chest. So the episode ends with Kenya saying, Now, since I was named the shadiest one, then let me say that Cynthia should have left that potato salad in Atlanta.
You know what? This is too much.
A mess. And I love some potato salad too, so when I find bad potato salad, it really hurts my soul. Like, that really hurts my spirit, because it should be so delicious, and when folks don't make it the right way, it's just heartbreaking. But child, that was the episode. Episode 2 gave everything it was supposed to have gave. Like, this was it. I love the dynamics. I just love how the drama is fresh. It's not too much. It's just right. This show is a welcome reprieve, and I am here for it. But y'all, thank you for watching my recap. I hope you all enjoyed. And as always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all later. Bye.